I have a 20-foot Norfolk Gypsy with a gunter rig and slab reefing on the mainsail. For reefing at sea, I don't want to be reliant on a motor or tiller pilot to hold me head to wind. I want to be able to reef under sail alone, which could be either hove to or whilst sailing under jib. In a few recent videos, I've shown the two main problems I've come across. First, my reefing line cleats are on the boom. When I want to reef, I need to take the power out of the mainsail by slackening off the main sheet. When I release the main sheet, obviously the boom swings out from the centre line of the boat, and this makes the reefing cleats very difficult to reach from the cockpit. Leaning out over the side of the boat in a strong wind is obviously not a safe thing to do. Second, my leech reefing lines feed through eyes on each side of the boom. Even when the mainsail is slackened off, in windy weather I found it difficult to pull in the leech reefing lines. I think the friction on the reefing lines going through the eyes might be contributing to this. The eyes are solid metal, not blocks with a wheel, and also they are set a few inches aft of the reefing cringle, making a sharper angle to pull against. Together, this probably makes for a fair amount of resistance. Thanks to helpful comments on my previous videos and a bit of trial and error, I've come up with 4 solutions. First, I've moved the reefing cleats further forward towards the mast, so that they're reachable from the cockpit or companionway, even when the boom swings out. Yeah, you can see the first cleat was here, so I've moved it right down, I don't know, 1.5 feet towards the boom, and it makes it much easier to reach from the cockpit. Second, I've replaced the eyes on the boom with blocks, and I've also moved them a little further forward on the boom so that they're closer to the reefing cringles. This is the aft end of the boom. I did have an eye here, and I've replaced that with this block so that the line can travel more freely through it, and I've moved it an inch or so forward so it's closer to the reefing cringle, so the line is at less of an angle and I can get more leverage on it. Third, I've experimented with adjusting my hove to position whilst I'm reefing. If I release the back jib a little, then the boat heads more up into the wind, and I can bring the boom more over the cockpit while still keeping the mainsail slack enough to reef. And lastly, to take the wind out of the mainsail, another option is to drop the peak and raise the boom with the topping lift. Okay, so I'm hove to, just in the mouth of the Blackwater. It's fairly windy. I've got one reef in, so I'm going to try and take a second reef in. Okay, so ease off the main sheet. Good. I think the blocks make a big difference. That's pretty tight, and then having these cleats makes it much easier to reach from the cockpit. put a second reef in, no problem. So the new setup with the blocks instead of eyes and with the cleats further towards the boom, that seems to really help. So all good.